people. Guys, it is Labor Day weekend. Well, it's Monday now, and guess what? I'm not working today. So I just woke up a few minutes ago. I got my coffee and I'm just ready to have a little chat with you. Before I start, I want to say welcome to all of my new subscribers. I have quite a few of you here, and I just want to say, first of all, thank you for clicking on the video, and thank you for subscribing. To my existing subscribers, I also want to say thank you so much for being loyal and always watching my videos. And yeah, today I wanted to share a little story with you. Well, it's not really a story, but it's a financial conversation. I wanted to share an experience I had with you, and that is my biggest financial mistake. Yes, we've all had those. We've all made mistakes. There's no shame. If you haven't made a mistake in your life, then I think that, I don't know, you haven't lived. But yeah, my biggest financial mistake, guys, is purchasing a condo as my first home and also as my primary residence. So I lived in New York, and during the time prior to purchasing the condo, I lived in a basement, and I was finally able to get out of the basement. And I always desired living in somewhere nice, you know. But then when I was thinking about it, I was torn between renting an apartment or purchasing a home. And you know, New York real estate is very expensive. That also includes renting. So to find a decent apartment and that's also affordable can be very tricky. So I feel like if I had rented, I would probably pay minimum $2,000 to rent a one-bedroom apartment in a decent neighborhood. So I resorted to purchasing a condo. Also, the mindset around that was, you know, if you purchase, you know, real estate, that's such a great achievement, and it's really awesome thing to do. And I wanted to also feel like, I felt like I did it, you know. I felt like I did it because I had, you know, struggled so much. So I felt like, yeah, if I buy the condo, I did it. I made it. But prior to buying the condo, I also was thinking maybe I could also buy like a two-family home, like with a basement and 2 living spaces. But I got scared with that idea, because to have this big space all by myself was a little scary, not just for maintenance and all that stuff, but also for my safety. So I thought, okay, a condo is the best thing, and it also seemed more affordable. So yeah, I decided to buy a condo, and I did. I knew that, you know, I did the math, where, you know, when calculating based on the interest rate, based on the cost of the house and the home association fee. I did the math, and I knew what I would be paying monthly, but it didn't really sink in. So after, you know, everything was done and completed, I did the math again. and I was already trapped. I had already purchased. I did the math again, and I'm like, hey, this is expensive. Over $2,000 towards mortgage and home association fee, because the home association fee was like $700 for one bedroom apartment. $700. And I'm like, hey, this is expensive. Prior to that, my rent in the basement was $600 a month, so that was even less than the home association fee. I'm like, this is expensive. But the idea still, for me, it was the whole idea of like, I bought a home. I did it. So yeah, I just let that thought consume me and didn't pay attention to the numbers. I remember about a year into having the home, I decided, let me look at the bank statement to really understand what is going on here and how much I have contributed towards the principal, how long will it take me to pay this thing off, and how can I contribute more, or how much more would I be able to contribute, and to shorten the length of the loan. So I took this statement and I did the math. I looked at it, I'm like, but I've been paying this thing for months now, and it's like I'm paying nothing. I realized a chunk of the mortgage payment is going towards interest, and very, very little is going towards the principal. I was really, really disappointed, but I was disappointed. And then I started to think, and I realized that sometimes, and to each his own, and this is my experience, very many people might see this and think like, no, this is not true, what you are saying is not correct. But remember, this is my experience. From this experience, I realized that in this case, for me, purchasing that condo was a liability. It wasn't an asset, because it was taking more from me than it was contributing. All of my money was just getting lost in the HOA and even in the mortgage, And when I decided that I'm going to sell this place, and after I sold this place, I put all of the numbers together. The numbers during the process of buying, maintaining the house, living in the house, and selling the house, and I realized that this thing was a liability. It was a liability because I spent more than I earned from this house. Because it's not guaranteed that when you sell a house you're going to break even or even make a profit. I put all of the numbers together: the down payment, the closing costs, the maintenance. During selling the house, you probably had to do a little bit of fixing. You paid for those things. Then you have to pay attorney fees. Then you have to pay your realtor 6%, or how much percent of the 6% of some of the selling price. And I realized that was my biggest financial mistake so far. That sometimes if you can buy something cash, then that's good. But if you have to finance a home and make that home your primary home, like, I would advise that if you are deciding to buy a home for your first time, you buy a duplex or something where you can rent something out, rent a room, rent 2 bedrooms, rent the basement, rent the first floor, so the rent can contribute towards your mortgage. But if you are just taking your little income to pay for the entire mortgage all by yourself, it's not a very wise idea. for me it was not a wise idea. And I'm not, no shame, you know, it is, we have to experience things, we have to learn, and we have to make better decisions next time. But this is my biggest financial mistake so far, and yeah, I learned from it. But yeah, don't rush. You have to do the math. Do the math. I remember when I used to have conversation with my friend about buying a home, he would always say, I would say to him, I found something, I it's affordable, it's cheap, it's cheap. He would say, what is cheap? I would say, yeah, the selling price is good. He would tell me, do the math, do the math. It's cheap, yes. Can you afford it? You know, can you afford it? Can you afford to eat after you pay a mortgage? Can you afford to save? Can you afford to take care of your family? Can you afford to probably go on a little vacation? You do not want to be house poor. So ensure that you do the math. So yeah, that was my biggest financial mistake. What was your biggest financial mistake so far? Let me know in the comment section and tell me, what do you think? This is my experience, so please don't come for me in the comment section. I'm not telling you to not purchase your home. If you feel that the numbers work for you, go ahead, but I'm just sharing with you my biggest financial mistake. That's my story. So thank you for watching, and see you on my next video.